Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian Plasencia, and I'm working as a software engineer in the Privacy and Scaling Explorations team at the Ethereum Foundation. And today I will talk about Bandada, which is a tool to manage groups. This is the structure of the presentation. So I will start with what is Bandada, then some Bandada use cases, current functionalities in Bandada, the Bandada infrastructure, and then the architecture of an application built on top of Bandada, and how to integrate Bandada into your project. And then I will talk a bit about the Bandada roadmap. Let's start with what is Bandada. So Bandada is an infrastructure to manage privacy-preserving groups. The groups can be managed using the dashboard app or using the REST API and endpoints we have, or the API SDK's library too. And Bandada is a Spanish word that means a group of birds. It's the same as the English word flock. And this is a picture I took some time ago, some months ago. So this is a real Bandada. So these are some use cases that you could build using Bandada: platform for DAOs, also group of people in a private organization, also a group with members who have contributed to a specific GitHub repository, and group of wallets holding a specific NFT, a group of members with, for example, more than 500 Twitter or X now, it's called X now, followers. These are the current functionalities. I will talk about what we have now, and also later I will talk about the roadmap for future functionalities. So right now we have off-chain groups and on-chain groups. And for off-chain groups, you can create and remove manual groups. These are groups that we also have credential groups. I will talk about it later, but for manual groups will be normal groups with members, not credential. And you can add members manually, like putting the identity commitment. I will show how to do it later. You can also use an API key to add members if you build an app. You can also invite someone using an invite link to join your group. And these are the ways to add members in off-chain groups right now. And to remove members, you can do it manually or using the API key too. So you can also create and remove credential groups. Credential groups are groups that you can join only if you meet a specific criteria, which is the credential. So this is the only way to add members. If you meet the specific criteria, you can join this group. And to remove members, you can do it manually. For off-chain groups, right now, you can create groups and add members. We'll work on on-chain groups later to have the same functionalities as the off-chain groups. And yes, for now, creating groups and adding members. Regarding the infrastructure, you can self-host the infrastructure using Docker, or you can also use the SaaS application. This is the Bandada infrastructure. I will talk a bit about it. We have the dashboard app and also the demo app, which is called client app in the repo. I will show you that later too. And with the dashboard app, you can manually create a group, add members, is a platform for that. And with the demo app, which is the client app in the repo, is an example app to join a group using invite links. And in the infrastructure, there is also the API with a lot of endpoints to manage groups. Also the database to save everything. And there are also contracts. Bandada, the Bandada contract with the logic of Bandada, and there are other box for protocols. Right now is Bandada with semaphore to verify semaphore proofs, and the idea is to add more protocols here in the contracts too, and also for off-chain to add more protocols there. Right now it supports Bandada, but the idea is to add more. There are also JavaScript libraries. There is the API SDK that you can use this library so that you don't have to use the API. If you use this library, you can call the functions and you don't have to work with the API directly because the library is doing that under the hood. There is also a library for credentials to manage everything related to credentials, so you can add more credentials to extend the library. There is also another one for the this one called Hardhat is for with Hardhat task to deploy the contracts easily. So the task is there, you just use it and you don't have to write the task. And there's also another library, utils library for utility functions, so that you can get additional functions. You can take a look at that too. So this is the GitHub code. Here is the QR code. I will also show you the repo now. This is the repo, is in the Privacy and Scaling Explorations GitHub repository. This is the project. So here is the API with all the code. So here is the client app, which is here this demo app, and the contracts. Here you can read more about it in the README file. I will show the contracts. This is the Bandada contract, and this one is for other protocols that we want to add more. And this is the dashboard that I will show you how to use it later. And regarding the libraries, the API SDK is to this has all the API functionalities under the hood, so you can use the API directly using this library. So here is like the documentation in the README. For now is here. You can read about it. And this is the credential library I talked about before. So some documentation. And the Hardhat tasks, here the task to deploy both. And the utils library with utility functions. So yeah, here is explained like which functions with the explanation. Okay. So to explain Bandada more in depth and how to build with it, I will use like a simple app, which is a feedback app. This app will be an application like Semaphore. In the previous presentation, there was a feedback app too, but the difference is that with this app, this app is completely off-chain, and the groups are managed using Bandada, the Bandada infrastructure. So from Semaphore, we are taking like the signaling, like anonymous signaling part, so that you can create an identity, join a group, and then send your feedback anonymously. So you can scan the QR code and join and create an identity, test, join a group, and send the feedback right now if you want. So this will be like the semaphore, Bandada semaphore off-chain app architecture. So I will explain this diagram. Let's start with the Bandada square, like rectangle here. Bandada is to manage groups. So in the application, everything related to managing groups is here in this part, in the Bandada part. So for that, we have a database to save everything, a backend with the API, and also the dashboard app, so people can create the groups manually and add members, etc. So the backend is connected to the database to ask for data and send data, and the dashboard is connected to the backend to ask for data and also to send requests to do something. And this part here will be your app. This big rectangle would be your app. So you will have a database probably. This is a completely off-chain app. You will have a database probably to save the data you want for your project, your logic, because Bandada is saving all the data related to groups and managing groups and the users, the members of your groups. And in this part, you will save, in this case, the feedback, for example. You will save the feedback of your app. You will have a database, a backend, and a frontend. Since it's an off-chain app, you have a backend. And in the backend, you will verify the proofs. So in the frontend, you will generate the proofs, and in the backend, you will verify the proofs. With Semaphore, since this is an integration with Semaphore, Semaphore is here, and then Bandada is this part managing the groups. But since you are using Semaphore, the proof generation is always in the front end. And then you have to verify it in a backend or in a smart contracts. But since this is an off-chain app, it's being verified in the backend. And then also you can use in the backend the Bandada API SDK to connect to get data about for your group. And then in the front end, you will have the Semaphore identity package to create the identity. You will have the group package to use it to generate the proof. And then you will also have the proof package that is used to generate the proof too. And also the Bandada API SDK to get data from your groups. The front end is connected to the backend to get data, and the backend to the database the same to get the data too. And so yeah, I will show you like with code and the real application. So, but it's nice to have the big picture, the architecture to understand more. So how to build with Bandada? So here, like now you will see how to do it, like to build this application quickly, like from scratch. This will be the demo app, which is a feedback app that I was talking about before. The demo app is a feedback app. Bandada is managing the groups, and then with Semaphore you can send the signal, the feedback anonymously. So this is the demo app. Let's go. This is something that you could build with Bandada. The difference between Semaphore and Bandada in this specific example is that in the previous presentation, the groups were everything was on-chain, and here everything is off-chain. And to take care of all the data, Bandada is doing that, managing groups, so you don't have to do it. If you don't use that, you will need to create your infrastructure to manage your groups and save your data and everything. So now you can create an identity, then you can join a group, And then you can send your feedback. Oh. Yeah. What was some people send feedback? No. Yeah, there were only one feedback, and some people send feedback now. Okay. But yeah, you can send your feedback. And the way this application is built is that you can go to bandada.psc.dev, and then you sign in. No. That's weird. Network. Yeah, I don't know.
Networking about you said console.
There is a button next to the console. You can click and go to network.
Ah, yeah, do you mean? Yeah, the network. Yeah. Nothing. I don't know. But it was working. Yeah, also some people send feedback now because there was only one feedback. So some people right now send two feedback. Well, okay, let's try again.
You've angered the demo gods.
Okay, well, you can create the groups. Yeah, there's the feedback people send now. Okay, well, you can create with the application, with the dashboard app, you can sign in, you can create a group, you can add members, and use the API, but I wanted to show you the way to do it. Maybe locally I could do it. Okay. I will show you locally. Yes, I don't know, it's the connection, what is. So you can see it. So this is Bandada locally. You just have to, in the API folder, you copy all this and paste it in a new file, .m file, and copy the same thing. Now you can, let's see. This is the way you sign in. So now I only have an unchecked group, so yeah. Yes, I don't know why, yeah, but it was working, but yeah, I don't know why. So that's why I'm trying locally. I don't know why network error. And also, I will need to run the other one locally too, which is this one. So for this, okay. So this is the feedback app locally too. Okay, so you have the same. So you not, yeah, because we have to create a new group. We have to create, so I will show you the process of creating a new group. So you click create group, then you put it a name, and then then you choose what you want. This is a small one, up to 65K, so it's fine. This will be a manual group, and then you should see the group here. So now you have this group. You don't have members yet. You have the group ID, and so we will need this group ID here to copy it and paste it here. And we will also use the API key to connect to the group. So now we will copy this one here. And yeah, so the app should work now. So now when you have this identity, and you should be able to join a group, and you should be able to see your group here with one member, which is the same that joined now. And you should be able to send a feedback. Yeah, here, since it's locally, this is feedback, all feedback. So yeah, this will be new feedback, like so yeah, it's here. So this is the way it should work. And yeah, so this is the flow. You create your group, and you can, since it's integrated with Semaphore, you can send anonymous feedback. So the same I was saying before is that you will need this. This is like the backend of your app to save in this case, the feedback of your application. For example, this is an example of application to build on top of Bandada, which is, as I said before, using Semaphore. So I will explain like how everything is connected. Like you have the API, which is an XJS project. The API are serverless functions, and so here you can get the feedback, and it's using for a backend, like not for a database. It's using Supabase. You probably know it. And to join a group, this would be like what you need in your backend to send feedback. What else is important? You generate an identity. This part is a Semaphore part, like you generate the identity, and you join a group and generate the proof. So yeah, so here this is the application where Bandada is managing the groups, and with Semaphore you send anonymous feedback. So that's the idea. Also, you can ask questions now or later, as you prefer. So this is the same application, the code, the GitHub code, so you can take a look. these are some Bandada links that you can find the app, the dashboard app, the GitHub repository, the boilerplate, which is the one I show right now. You can fork it or you can use it to build your own application. The API documentation and the API SDK documentation, because you can take a look at your groups here. Right now we created one group, and for example you can try it out here too. Like you can see that there is one group with one member. So this is the one we have now, like one group with one member. So for discussions, for questions, for everything, you can join the PSC Discord, and there is a chat called Bandada. So you can ask your question there, you can discuss everything. Now I will talk about the Bandada roadmap. So what are some things that we would like to include? We want to get feedback. We want to, if you have all the protocols that could be integrated, so we want to know more about them too. So the first thing is to improve the user experience and developer experience with documentation, SDKs, CLI templates, so developers can easily build on top of it. Integrate other protocols like Ethereum Attestation Service, POAP, and also SUPAS and several other protocols that could be integrated. Also add logical operators for credentials, create groups with multiple credentials, because right now you can create groups using, you could create groups using, for example, your GitHub followers or Twitter followers, and we would like to add other credentials too, like, I don't know, grow, okay. You could create credential groups with GitHub followers, yeah, stars, commits, Twitter followers, Twitter following users. So yeah, and put the numbers there. So yeah, you can create credentials, but we would like to integrate other type of credentials. And the idea of logical operators is that you could create groups, like, for example, you have this specific POP and also this attestation, or also you also have more than 500 followers on Twitter. To have several credentials at the same time, you could create groups like that, and that would be very useful. We would like to work on on-chain groups to have the same functionalities that off-chain groups have right now. Join group with invite link, to have credential groups, etc., or the functionalities off-chain groups have right now. So it would be nice to create group without using API key, like you can create group and you create the group directly without using any API key. Also, it would be nice if user can create group, if people can create group without being registered on the platform. So you can create a group directly, like without API key or without being on the platform. And
how do you register currently?
Yeah, with your wallet. Okay. And also build a modular architecture, so you can self-host where the part that you want. For example, if you want to have only the credential groups, you don't need the other type of groups. So it would be nice to have that, so that you can take the part that you want, or maybe you don't want credential groups and you want the other groups with API key and the others. So it would be nice to have this type of architecture where you can take whatever you want and self-host it, or it will be really nice. And also support other data structures. Right now it's using incremental marker tree, and it will be nice to support other good data structures to prove group membership. And to have different groups too. Right now we have semaphore groups, but it will be nice to have other type of groups. So yeah, you can find me on Telegram like this, and here the QR code, and Discord and Twitter X. And thank you so much. So questions?
Do you mind going to the architecture diagram you have?
Which one? This? This?
Yeah. So this is what you currently
Mhm.
implemented?
Mhm.
Right? So is the left square, the Bandada
Mhm.
service, is that just like a PSE maintained
Yes.
API and database?
This is Bandada. This is all that people don't have to build. If they build on top of Bandada, they don't have to manage groups because everything is done there. So yeah, this is the Bandada.
Gotcha. If I wanted to, maybe that was what you were describing in the roadmap, but like if I just wanted to, in my own application and my own database, just like run an instance of the Bandada database to just like manage everything myself. Is that what you were talking about in the roadmap of like the self-hosting?
Yeah, right now you can self-host it because we hosted Bandada using Docker, so you can do the same.
Okay.
And
so it's just like optionally we can use this service provided by PSE to just like create groups and use that infrastructure to manage it.
Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever you prefer. Some people would prefer to self-host it, so they have the architecture, but they want to have their data too. And because if you use the SaaS app, the data is in the server, so it's not AWS in this case. So and we are managing that. Not if you want to create a project and you want to manage your own data, you will probably want to self-host it, so you have your data. But and you can do it using Docker. We have everything, the configurations, and we want to make it even easier for you to self-host it. But yeah, this is, you can use self-hosted, or you can use the SaaS app, and we will host it for you. But for example, for hackathon projects, for small projects, you want to build something quickly, feedback app for anonymous right now here, or a voting app, but right now here, it's easier to use the SaaS app.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, more questions? It's working now?
Yeah, the server is up again.
What was the problem?
I think it was down for a couple of minutes while you were presenting.
You gave a demo, so.
Yeah, demo
exactly.
gods.
They knew it. Yeah, they knew it. Okay.
I've checked right now and seems to work. Could you check, please, the API page?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so that anyone can try Bandada.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's working.
Yeah, it's okay. So well, this is the Live app, like the deployed one, but it's the same as the other, but this has a lot of groups I created before, and this is the demo app, but the deployed one. So let's see if it's okay. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, everything works now. It was down. I don't know why, but yeah, everything is fine. And yeah, so yeah, this is the demo. Yeah, the idea is that you can, for the code. you.
One more question.
Mhm.
Just to understand, yeah,
Mhm.
like the relationship between Bandada and Semaphore, like,
Mhm. Yeah.
can I use Bandada in isolation to like create identities in groups, or right now, like that's using the Semaphore infrastructure to do that?
Mhm. Yeah, right now it's using the semaphore infrastructure, but the idea is to separate things and use semaphore is using the CK-kit library for the Merkle tree and everything, and the idea is to do the same, like to have the data structure not using directly the semaphore groups and everything. The idea is to have a semaphore package to integrate it, but not to have it together. And it would be nice to, yeah, to support other type of groups. And so yeah, right now it's together, but the idea is to separate everything and have semaphore as a package, and also the same for other protocols. And Bandada will be something, and it will have different protocols.
Yeah, like you mentioned EAS as one, like
Mhm.
maybe you could explain what that might look like of like, yeah, do you have a vision of like why EAS would use groups?
It's for attestation, so the credentials is for to join a group, and like the POAP. If you have a specific POAP, you can join a group, and if you want, I don't know a lot about the Ethereum attestation service, but I know that they have off-chain and on-chain attestation, so it's perfect for that because we have off-chain and on-chain groups, and yeah, it's also open source, and yeah, so I would like to study more the protocol. So yeah, to see if we can integrate it. But this will be like, this is part of the roadmap and idea. It's not, we are not implementing it right now, but this is the idea. Like, we would like to implement some of them, and this is one of the options.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.